Good morning, Salesian High School. Over the course of the next 5 days, you will be hearing from two seniors, Paulie Nera, representing Mr. Donald Trump, and Ian McDonald, representing Secretary Hillary Clinton. These two seniors will tell you why their candidate should be president, why their candidate's opponent should not be president, and then we'll have a debate addressing essential issues facing this election. Following the 5 video segments, you, the students of Salesian High School, will be asked to vote on Monday, November 7th, in your homerooms for the candidate you believe will best serve our country. Thank you. Speaking first will be Ian McDonald, telling you why Secretary Hillary Clinton should be the next president of the United States. Ian?
Okay, so let's get right down to it. So one of the first things we have to talk about is immigration. It's one of the most divisive issues facing us in this campaign. Now, my candidate calls for comprehensive immigration reform, rewarding those people who have come over illegally over the border, but have been law-abiding people and have not caused any trouble for us in this country. They've been contributing to our economy and they've been contributing to our workforce, and there's no reason that they should be deported just because they came over the wrong way. This would also help with the exploitation of illegal immigrants in our country. Since they don't have a legal status, they don't have any legal rights, and they might be paid something like $3 to $4 an hour for their work, or $50 for their day's work, which is not a rightful compensation when they have to pay the rent and pay the bills and pay for food. So that's what Hillary is for. Okay. Then the next topic is the tax system. She is proposing for tax hikes on the rich, such as the 4% surcharge on those making $5 million or more. Since there are so many loopholes that the rich are able to get to, they don't actually pay the rightful rate that many middle-class people, like everyone in this school, does. She's also working towards closing many loopholes. During one of the debates, Mr. Trump talked about closing the carried interest loophole, but that was the only one he talked about. Mrs. Clinton proposes to close the carried interest loophole, in addition to the Bermuda reinsurance loophole and the step-up in basis loophole that applies to estates being passed on to their heirs, and the Romney loophole, which allows people to put money into their retirement accounts, but they're putting so much tax-free money in there, it's more than they'll ever need for their retirement, and that's them not paying their taxes once again. And she also calls for the Buffett rule, which mandates that people who make over $1 million a year must pay an effective tax rate of at least 30%, because someone who makes that kind of money shouldn't be paying a lower tax rate than their secretary. And then the next proposals is the economy. Now, Mr. Trump is calling for a huge decline in taxes to boost the economy, but we don't really know what's going to happen with this money once it's not in taxes anymore. So she's proposing a 100-day job plan that will invest in small businesses by giving them tax breaks and more available capital. She will also be investing in jobs that are good for the environment and contributing to a positive change for global warming, which is something that the opponent is not for at all. She will also be raising the minimum wage. She will be fighting for unions. She will be putting more restrictions on Wall Street so that we don't have another financial recession. For terrorism, she is planning to work with our Middle Eastern allies to arm the rebels in Syria, and she will also work to cut off the funding for ISIS and regain territory that they have taken once before. She will be giving the necessary resources to officers at home to crack down on domestic violence terrorism. And finally, she'll be working toward gun violence prevention. As we've seen, there have been many attacks in the past few months and few years in our country, and so she's working to close loopholes such as the internet loophole and the gun show loopholes that require no background checks, and there should also be more extensive background checks. And she will also bring justice to the gun licensors and dealers that sell the guns illegally, but then under those same laws do not have to be prosecuted for the crimes that they have committed in giving guns to people who should not have them at all. So those are the reasons why you should be voting Democrat and voting for Hillary Clinton on Monday.